one thing that I think we should be talking about pretty much through the entire pod is the new tire setup that they had this weekend.
The extreme soft.
The extreme softs, correct.
Yeah. Masterclass. What a good way to
in
put
how
that.
to overtake.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Like that's got to be like one of the best overtakes we've seen all year.
That front right tire changer really had a hard day.
It was a
for
bad,
McLaren.
yeah.
He had a really bad one, and then he had a really good one. Stop was 2.1 seconds on the next one, and they were tapping him on the back. I was like, "Good for you, dog. You really redeemed yourself." And then he did it again. And I was like, "Dude."
Yeah. Max is obviously. He's Max Verstappen. He's going to be, probably the best driver on the grid even with a bad car. The Red Bull, in my opinion, was not as bad as it has been earlier this season.
Get laced up.
Let's go.
It's time for Banter with the boys.
Welcome back to Banter with the Boys. Fast laps. Oh, my last sip of whatever just didn't go down right there, so that sounded off. But we're here. Anyway, too much information. Joe, welcome to the show. You've been here for the last 2 years.
Thank you for finally having me on. I've been
yeah,
asking.
thank God you finally made it.
You guys got me.
Yeah. You're here for the long haul, I think, even.
Well,
TBD.
Yeah, we'll see.
TBD.
We'll see how this works out.
Long haul TBD.
And Mike.
Not here for the long haul.
Is also here. No, you liar.
I'm kidding.
Mike, again, for the second week in a row, was able to D's out of work and get here for the show.
His coworkers hate him.
Coworkers hate this one trick.
He just leaves.
Yeah, just walk out.
Just gets out of here. But I don't know. I guess
Kev.
Kev.
We won't forget about him.
Behind the camera. We still need Kev Cam and Kev Mike.
My goat.
Definitely comment if we need Kev Cam and Kev Mike, but it's gonna happen anyway. It's just a matter of time. I guess summer break. Actually, I had an idea for summer break really quick. We need to figure out a way, and I'm not technologically advanced enough probably, but we need to find a way, and maybe we just do time trials, right? But we need to find a way to film us doing a time trial or something, ideally a race, right, where we're all on our own system, but that's beyond me. Mm-hmm. But if we do like a time trial and able to put it on YouTube, Kev, that'd be sweet. Or Facebook Live, even something like that would be sweet. I'm gonna lose and get third, but that's fine. But it'd be fun, you know what I mean?
It would be a lot
get like
fun.
5 laps. Give us your best lap at. We should start somewhere easy, like Australia or something. But
Australia.
Yeah, you love Australia,
But
don't you?
As of recently, I like Australia.
I guess if we want views, it'd be Monaco, right? But
Ooh,
God, no, please.
man.
that'd be hard, man.
I feel like
and
Silverstone,
full
right?
damage on, like full simulation, like.
I always play full damage.
I won't make a lap.
That's true.
Because I'll nick the wall and my wheel
you
will
also
fly off.
you also play with no assets, right? Or you
like
try
an
to?
idiot. Like an
Yeah.
idiot.
He plays with most assets, I think.
I play with a handful of assets.
Handful.
No. We'd
handful.
figure out the settings beforehand, set
Right,
them
right,
up,
right.
so we all play with the same stuff. If you guys play automatic trans, though, I definitely got to have manual at least.
I'm definitely going manual.
Otherwise, I'll feel naked. Yeah. But like otherwise, all the other assists, let's just throw them on. No judgment.
Hey,
that's not a requirement.
Definitely no judgment.
No, that's not a requirement.
Okay.
But if he wins,
I'm a
then we
loser.
can bully him.
Then we can bully him.
Yeah.
And I will bully you.
Yep.
Yeah. He already does.
Yep. Speaking of F125 coming out soon, so
It is. Are you guys getting it?
Probably.
Sheep.
are you
I'm
getting
probably
it, Joe?
getting it.
Yeah, that's what I
Getting it,
thought.
I'm not gonna get it right
Get the
away.
heck
I
outta
just
here.
can't. I was so.
We got to be able to do the time trial during
We
summer
have
break
to.
now.
You're right. I mean, we could go F124.
That's the thing.
But
Well,
then again,
that's not
I
as fun.
hated F124. Like you know how
That's
much
not as
I
fun.
was, how angry
Then
I was. at
then I
F124.
can't. You know what? In F125, do you think it'll be Jack Doohan or Colapinto in the
It'll be
seat?
I bet you
It'll
when
probably be
it
Doohan.
launches, it'll be Doohan,
Yeah.
and then if he sticks around, they'll add Colapinto.
Cool. Well,
They added Ricardo when he took over for De Vries in 23.
Yeah, but that's
really.
They did. It took a little while. They will add him if they don't keep swapping them out. They will, but like if they keep swapping them out, I doubt they'll do it.
But right now, we
It'll
don't
be-
really know who's going to end the season in the second seat in Alpine. I don't think.
I agree.
Considering this GP,
We're gonna have to talk about that today.
I know.
Yeah.
Might as well. Let's just get into it, Kev. Let's just
do
get
it.
into the what is it? The Emilia Romagna?
Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
Yeah, Parmesan cheese. Yep. Bang, bang. All right, of course we got. We just got the Emilia Romagna. Typical.
You almost made him spit up.
Almost
got the Emilia
Almost
Romagna.
got Joe's
deal.
mic wet.
No
I don't
big
know.
deal.
All right. Anyway, man, I should not have free-gamed this show, huh? Anyway, FP. We got FP for Emilia Romagna.
We do.
GP. Yep.
Emilia
Joe, you look
Romagna
like you
Grand
got
Prix.
some notes. You
I
just
do have
pulled them
notes. I have lots of notes.
out. Let's just do them because I got some stuff to say about quali because that was wild. But
Sure.
yeah, go for
I
it.
cover FP, you cover quali, and then we'll kind of
And then screw Mike. Yeah.
We're banter a little
don't have
bit.
anything
He'll
to say.
banter.
Yeah,
He'll
Mike can just
yap.
hang out.
He likes to yap.
Yeah.
So first,
here
I just
to
want to
He's
know.
not even a part of the show.
I think this was this this was in FP1, and I kind of agree with him. One of the commentators talking about Alpine and Colapinto's kind of 5-race chance to prove himself. One of the commentators said, "It's absolute nonsense. Not how I'd run a Formula One team," which I just thought was like, yeah, that's fair.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if you have. I think it probably was a former driver,
Oh, God,
or
I need to print
but,
that
like,
quote out and put it on my wall in the new
Yeah, I
house.
mean, yeah,
I
it's
move
just
in 2
like-
weeks, but I
Okay,
should put
yeah.
that on the wall house in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
just paint it on the wall.
Not how I'd run a Formula One.
Not how I'd run a Formula
I love
One
that.
team. No.
That's hilarious. Me either.
Gabby crashed it at the end of FP1, unfortunately. And then I
Wah, wah.
believe this was FP2. Hajar spins off into the gravel. He actually looked like he was about to get out, but he ends up beaching it with 7 minutes left in the session. So
Beaching
that
it.
ends FP2.
My favorite term.
And then one thing that I think we should be talking about pretty much through the entire pod is the new tire setup that they had this weekend.
The Extreme Soft
The
or
Extreme
whatever?
Softs, correct. And how in FP3,
C6.
the tires looked really good. The
Nice.
tires looked really strong. People seemed to be doing really well with them. And then when they hit quality, it was just, oh no, FP2. FP2, they were doing really, really well. And then FP3, Saturday morning, they were just god awful for some reason. They just could not hook them up. They were dying really quickly. They just were not working. And that kind of translated through the rest of, well, through qualifying at least. So yeah, that's all we got for FP. Race quality. Smeltsy, you want to kind of tee us up?
I don't know, just pure chaos, honestly. I was happy my boy Gasly made it to Q3
Yeah.
and then did nothing with it after that, but that's okay. GP didn't go awesome for him either, or Alpine as a whole, so we'll just move on from them. But yeah, no, quality was wild. What blew me out of the water was the end of Q3, or I'm sorry, end of Q2. Sorry, end of Q2 is the Aston Martins both getting into top 10, pushing out the Ferraris. Kimi also was out of the top 10. I don't know. That like the whole Q2 session just blew me out of the water. It was probably the most exciting qualifying I've seen this year anyway for me. And it just like we haven't seen a ton from Aston, so it was cool to see them put down a couple fast laps, obviously. No pun intended. Just realized that. Anyway, and they didn't get any points in the GP, but it was nice to see.
Aston did bring a pretty big upgrade package this weekend, so that's.
What was it? Do you know what it was?
I don't know exactly what it was,
Fair
but I
enough.
do know they talked about bringing a upgrade package this weekend, and this was supposed to be one of their big ones. I think they're planning for like one more this season, but yeah. So, and to be fair, like Alonso qualifying P5, really good, and then he just kind of got. Hosed by his safety car. He complained about how he's the most unlucky driver in the world.
That's one of the comms for sure.
Yep.
I think I'm sure all of us grabbed that one, but something about being the effing most unluckiest driver or something.
Yeah.
Just
Poor
real
guy.
unfortunate.
More notes on quality?
when did Yuki crash? Was that Q1?
Crashed in Q1.
Yeah.
Pretty early in Q1.
Yeah, it was like 3 minutes in.
minutes. Yeah, it was about
Crazy crash.
It was actually.
Only half
Hard
of the
hit.
field had gone on a lap, so he crashed with 12:13 left. Big crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so starting from the pit, obviously, for GP, but good to see him walk away from that with, I don't think literally any injuries. I mean, that's.
He literally walked out of the car.
Yeah, I mean, and he hit the wall hard, flipped once, it might have been twice, can't remember, but I mean, he hit hard, and good to see him walk away and be able to finish the GP and even in a top 10 at that, but.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else on quali for you, Joe?
I think and this is not Colapinto's fault. He goes into the fast lane before the resume time is confirmed. That was just, the team. I think the team was trying to stop him from going, but they didn't tell him ahead of time. So not his fault. I think he lost a place for it, which ended up, not really mattering too much because he ended up crashing at the end of Q1 as well.
Yep.
Him crashing, I think it actually effectively knocked Lawson out. Not saying that Lawson would have gotten to Q2, but Lawson could not finish his lap to try. So, just thought I'd throw that in there too.
Also with Q2, I think it was Q2 if I remember right. Wasn't that when Bearman got screwed over?
Yes.
Yeah, so
that was incredible.
No, it was Q1.
It was Q1.
It was Q1. Okay.
So that's where I was miffed with Colapinto because he crashed right there at the end, causing the red flag to come out. Where literally, like right before Ollie crossed the line to finish his fast lap, and his time actually went on the timing chart and then got taken off.
Correct.
And he
Correct.
put himself in 10th.
Right.
So he hooked up a fast lap.
Yeah.
And then they just took it away. And it was just because he was just a little too, like, it happened just at the wrong time. If they had waited literally a second on the red flag, he would have had it.
Oh yeah, I looked it up because he was in that car waiting, and then Bortoletto like went out onto the track as he was waiting. So it was just like, okay, it's definitely
Yeah, as
not
soon
happening.
as Bortoletto left, everybody's like,
I was like, what are you gonna do?
dang.
Like Bortoletto, like
They
what
probably
if
told him to
what if
go.
Bortoletto like did get knocked out and he was on track?
Is that like a fine or points?
I would
thing,
imagine.
or
I would
like
imagine. I feel like they couldn't.
Or a
although
time penalty for the GP?
We watched Sainz run over a. What was it in Vegas? Run over a sewage a drainage plug or
the
whatever,
cap thing.
and then destroy his car, and then still had to like pay everything for it.
Yep.
They probably could have fined him. I don't know if they would have.
I think Bearman got screwed over.
It does
had a
suck.
killer
I think
lap. I mean,
the timing. I looked it up because it wasn't like clear. I looked it up after the fact. It was truly tense. He crossed the finish line tenths after the red flag was thrown.
Dude, that's heartbreaking.
That's what I'm saying.
It's heartbreaking. He could have had a completely different GP.
Yep.
100%. That sucks. Anyway. So GP, right? Yuki starts from the pit. Our starting grid ends up being after quali, Piastri, Verstappen, Russell, Norris, Alonso, Sainz, Albon, Stroll. Those last four names blow my mind.
Yep.
Hadjar and Gasly.
Last six names, kind of,
Nope,
right?
calm down. Gasly should be there. He belongs there.
okay.
But yeah, Hadjar, yeah.
No
we
bias.
can throw Hadjar.
No Alpine bias
Isaac
here.
in there. No problem.
I mean, we got to talk about it, right? Like we should be expecting. I mean, one Red Bull, right? Hopefully two.
Hopefully, we should be expecting.
We should be expecting two. Okay, so we should be expecting two Red Bulls, two McLarens,
But he crashed, so.
two Mercedes, and hold on, my math is wrong. Give me a second. Two Red Bulls,
Seven.
two McLarens, two.
5.
6.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Where did I leave
Bogus.
off? Two Red Bulls, two McLarens, two Mercedes, two Ferraris. Yeah. And then the last two are kind of up for grabs in terms of a team, right?
I would agree.
I'm gonna take their beers
That
away.
was not. I
Ferraris
mean, that
look
was
like
not the
garbage.
case, right? What was that?
I said I'm gonna take their beers away.
I'm sipping.
Although, yeah, I should have came straight here afterward.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
the problem. No, but God dang it. You go on. Sorry.
No, but it is interesting that the bottom 4, 5. I mean, Alonso, Sainz, Albon, Stroll, Hadjar, Gasly. The bottom 6,
Yeah.
not normally there,
True.
right?
I mean,
So
truly.
that's-
Or at
they
least,
could
again,
be
at
there,
least
they
those
could be there.
last two spots are
Yes.
a toss up between those 6.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're all up there.
Well, I think like a couple of them are somewhat normal. Like Hadjar is not too unnormal. Albon is not that unnormal. I think they
mean-
said that
I mean,
Albon's only had
out of quality, though, specifically.
yeah,
not
no, but
GP
no. That's what I'm saying though.
And I
It's
mean,
like, Albon
Hadjar
has only
has been
had
quick.
what, like two qualifyings thus far this season where he hasn't been in Q3, like, which is
Really?
unbelievable.
Only
yeah.
2?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3, I think. So like,
I don't know.
yeah,
Wow.
they said it during like
Williams
during
fan.
the race.
No, I'm just kidding.
like right at the beginning of the race, they were talking about it, and they mentioned him how he's been in Q3 for all of I think 2 races.
And Williams looked incrable.
Yeah,
They
it
did. They
really,
looked so
really
This
good.
race as a whole. I mean,
For an upgrade package that was for last weekend, it coming back and still doing the numbers this weekend felt good.
and where you're going now, you're heading into a track this week that's all about qualifying and
It is.
where you can be. I mean, what a great opportunity for Williams heading into this week as well. But all right. Let's give Max Verstappen his flowers. Getting P1, finishing 10 grid is going to be Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Albon, Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, Hadjar, and Tsunoda. For our Spotify, really anything outside of YouTube listeners, Joe was just holding up his Max Verstappen sign. What is
Absolute
going
cinema.
on? Absolute
What?
cinema? What was?
The overtake.
Oh, the overtake on Piastri. Yeah, it was really good.
Well,
Piastri took the corner poorly, but
backed out.
Max
And
still
backed
had
out.
a good overtake.
and Piastri ended up backing out.
Piastri backed out because Max had sent it on.
I mean, it was one or
sent
the
it on
other,
line.
right? At some point, somebody's got to make a
Piastri
decision,
claimed
but-
he broke too early as well.
Right, but like it was still like a super crazy dive bomb
I agree.
from Max.
Yeah.
Well,
and it was
it's
just
a
like
Max Verstappen move, which was incredible. It was a classic Max Verstappen, not in a negative way.
Masterclass.
I mean, it was masterclass. What a good way to
in
put
how
that.
to overtake.
Yeah,
like
100%.
That's got to be like one of the best overtakes we've seen all year, along with Oscar overtaking Hamilton in Australia. Like those two.
No, Oscar overtaking whoever he did in Jeddah is still the best overtake of the year, 100%.
On that outside,
You don't even
on the
remember
outside.
who it was.
1,000%. I can look it up. I remember the overtake.
You think it's great? You don't even remember who it was. I remember two overtakes. It's
remember it was
Max
Oscar.
overtaking Oscar and Oscar overtaking Hamilton in Melbourne. Those are like the two best overtakes of the season.
You're wrong. It was Lewis Hamilton. You're talking about Lewis Hamilton on Saudi Arabia, right? Not
No,
Australia?
I'm talking about in Australia when he overtook Lewis Hamilton in Australia after spinning out and literally on the last lap in that last little chicane or that chicane after the straight, he overtook Lewis right there in a super crazy.
All right. I want you to,
overtake.
hey, Smeltzer, can you just watch this really quick and tell me that, agree that Mike is crazy? Just surgical.
What an overtake.
Didn't slow down even a little bit.
Nah.
It was Lewis Hamilton that he was overtaking as well.
But was it?
Sure, I mean maybe he did overtake
Excuse
him.
you?
I'm just kidding.
Maybe he did overtake him in Jeddah, but I don't remember that ever happening. So
Well, maybe you just need a few more times.
Anyway, Red Bulls, Max Verstappen, P1, typical stuff. 4 in a row for him at Imola. Is that true?
yeah,
I feel like it might be 4 in a row for him. I thought I have it down here, but it says 4 in a row at Imola, and I don't know
Oh,
if that's.
I will.
I don't
do
know if
what
that's
that
Max
is.
Verstappen or if that's Red Bull. I'm
That is
assuming it's Max Verstappen.
I'm sorry,
Because it
you're
would be
right.
Red Bull.
Australia, that was a really good overtake. I just watched it. It was a very good
yeah,
overtake.
you're darn right it was.
I still think Jeddah's in the conversation, and we can talk about it later.
Okay.
Yes, this is the 4th consecutive Imola win for Max.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can we argue that Max got lucky multiple times here? Not only with the safety car, but with the slow stops
I will say-
from Oscar's pit as well. I think it was Oscar. Lando had a
Yeah.
slow one too. That front right tire changer really had a hard day.
It was a
for
bad-
McLaren.
yeah.
He had a really bad one, and then he had a really good one. Stop was 2.1 seconds
Yep.
on the next one, and they were tapping him on the back. I was like, "Good for you, dog. You really
did it.
redeemed yourself." And then he
And he
did it
messed up the
again.
next one.
And I was like, "Dude!"
Yeah.
And I'm not even a McLaren fan, but
Yeah,
he's got to be
you're,
feeling like
you're
crap.
totally right. I think his win is not luck. His win is because he
I mean,
got
it's
ahead of
skill, right?
Piastri at the front.
Yeah.
I
and
said
built a
this,
crazy lead.
Yeah, I said this to you.
And he
I
was
said this
31
to
seconds
someone
ahead
else.
at some point.
Yeah, he was. The safety car definitely helped him like make his gap. Like he was like 20 seconds because of the safety car. Safety car restart. Piastri was behind with old tires. No way he was going to catch him anyway.
Yep.
Even if
Are we
they
talking
were-
later in the race?
Yeah, even if they were same, like even if they had the same tires, like if it wasn't the lucky stuff that Max got met with, I still think he probably would have had it.
I think
I agree.
I think it would have been a lot closer though. It would have been a great. It would have been a
100%,
great
yeah.
battle, but like. So into that, right? So Yuki before we move on to McLaren, because I
Yeah.
want to dive into McLaren off that right there at the end of the race there. But Yuki battling up from a pit lane start to finish P10 into points. I mean,
Awesome.
I'm good with that.
That's
Yeah.
fabulous.
I'm good with that.
I don't think you could ask for more out of your driver. Like that's
Do you guys know if he got just like really lucky at some point, or if he was racing the
Yuki?
whole time? Yeah.
I think he was racing most of the time.
he was racing most.
Now,
of it.
don't
I
get
do
me
think
wrong.
he-
I don't know where the stops happened because I wasn't
Yeah.
literally straight up. I wasn't.
So
paying
after the
attention to
first,
him
after lap
during
30,
the
he
safety
was
cars.
not. Yeah, after lap 30, he was not in the top 10.
Correct.
So he was still down. And then after the safety car, he was still not in the top 10. So I don't know.
So he battled his way up there.
He did, yeah.
Either way,
I remember him
grabbing a point.
overtaking 410th. I don't remember who he overtook, but I remember him overtaking 410th.
I remember him. The biggest thing I remember
Gasly?
from Yuki is that he didn't really hold
Fernando.
up Piastri.
Fernando.
Excuse me. He didn't hold up Piastri after his pit stop. He just kind of he let him through a little bit. But he did battle him to 10th. So
Well, he did try to battle him, but it was like I think he was on older tires than Oscar was. Oscar was on literally brand spanking new tires, and like.
yeah,
He gave it what he could, but like
he did. I think it was also where they met was on the straight, and
Yeah.
Oscar just had so much room to get him, so it didn't really matter.
and Yuki didn't have anybody in front of him to farm DRS off of, so
yeah,
I mean he was fighting a McLaren with DRS.
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And with the McLarens, let's just head right into them here. But again, I want to go back to later in the race where the restart from the safety car, not the virtual safety car, the real one. Norris finishing 2, Piastri finishing 3. Should they? Because I can't remember how fast. Because Oscar was in front of Lando, was he not, with
Yeah.
older tires? When did they decide to make that switch?
They didn't decide that it just happened.
It just happened.
Yeah,
But it didn't happen for a few laps, right?
It didn't happen for a few laps, and that was.
Do you
that
think
was
they
on
should have
Norris.
made that switch early?
Ooh, so
Oscar got a good jump. I mean, again, Max Verstappen is insane at safety car restarts. I mean, his timing.
his
I mean,
restart was crazy
What are you gonna
good.
do? But that's the second time we've seen it this
So-
season. He's ridiculous at
Yeah,
it, right? And
if-
that I don't like. There's got to be some sort of rule there, and maybe he's just so damn good. It doesn't matter,
Right.
Right. But anyway, sorry. Just
no, you're good.
got
No,
me heated
that's
for a second.
super. No, that's super valid. And I honestly, on that point, really quick, I don't think there is anything we can do. I think he's just really good.
think
at
he's
them.
just that good.
I
Yeah,
don't think
for sure.
they already nerfed him. You know,
I know.
because they
They're trying to nerf
they
him all
banned
the time.
the side by side on the restart, and so like if they do anything more, people are just gonna think that they're trying to slow Max down, which is fair.
exactly what they'd be
He's
trying to do.
incredibly good at
Yeah,
those
yeah.
restarts.
To be fair, the FIA has done that before. They have changed rules specifically to target a driver because driver is so good.
No, totally. And they did that with Max for this rule, but
Yeah.
other people were also doing it and it was becoming dangerous. So it made more sense in that
Right.
scenario. If they were to keep pushing on this and nerf him more, then it would seem more targeted. And that's not okay in this day and age. Back in the day, still not great, but probably less
I
looked
don't
at.
know if I hate it.
Nerfing drivers,
If they're incredibly dominant, bringing them down,
I guess. I mean, no.
leveling the plane.
Anyway.
leveling the playing
Anyway.
field.
Do you
Anyways.
think they should have had Lando swap with Piastri early? Like right away, like I'm talking right off the restart. If you can get him within the first couple turns, make it happen and get it done, so Lando can try to make a charge on Max. Or was it just like it is what it is? Oscar's had insane pace this year. Yeah, Lando pass him if you can catch him.
Yeah, exactly. That, and I think that's. I honestly think that's how it should have. So how it was played out, I think, is how it should have been played out. I think if you tell Piastri and Norris to like swap, then you put Piastri in a dangerous place with the people behind Norris. So like letting them kind of like figure it out themselves a little bit for the next couple laps puts them in a better place because they are fast. They are still in fast cars. I don't think they were in the fastest car this weekend, but they are in fast cars enough to get away and still keep their double points, which I think ultimately, obviously, McLaren wants. They want to make sure that they're both in a really good spot, and I think they might even rather have that than have one of them win and then lose one of the podiums that they were going to get. So I could be wrong there. That's at least my point of view of it. I wouldn't have changed anything. They didn't give team orders, which is also good. I don't think they should have done that. So
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's where you have to be right now when you got two arguably elite drivers right now. I mean, arguably everybody in F1 is elite. That's why they're in F1.
I mean, they're both the world, like they're both competing for the same championship at the moment. They're each other's rivals. So
For sure. And at the end of the day, a 2-3 finish is going to just keep solidifying that constructors as well.
I do need to dispute you on the fact that I do actually think the McLaren was the fastest car there this weekend. I do just think that the McLaren was the fastest car, but Max Verstappen just is Max Verstappen.
I see what you mean.
He was the difference between the McLaren and the Red Bull was not massive enough. I do think that the McLaren was faster than the Red Bull, but only slightly faster than the Red Bull, and Max Verstappen just made up the difference.
See,
That's fair.
and that's where I don't actually agree with you for once. I just,
Wow, how dare you?
I don't know. Like for the most of the beginning part of that race, Verstappen felt like he was truly just driving away from the McLarens. I mean, he was building a solid lead, and it wasn't just the safety cars that gave him that lead. I mean, he built a solid lead on him, and I don't know.
But how much of that is
Red Bull did really feel fast, and then Yuki battling up to P10 from starting in the pit. Disgusting. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, we were talking about Yuki. Disgusting work.
Disgusting.
Unbelievable.
But I don't know. I felt like Red Bull was pretty quick for once.
I
this
felt like
year.
they were very-
And I haven't felt like they have been that quick this year. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would like to add can I add a point?
is that the talking stick?
Yeah.
We got
The
a whole
talking
Max
Max?
Verstappen's-
Yeah.
The talking Max.
So you had talked about, and I was actually about to, I guess, rescind and agree with you, but then you start talking, and now I'm on your side again.
And then you opened your gums.
I mean, it's hard to say because I look at it as like, you're right, the McLarens probably were the faster car, but the car that was the
race-based.
fastest in general was Max Verstappen and his car.
Okay, if
That's
you're-
kind of like I in terms of like the team, I don't know. I still think because you're right, Max Verstappen was pulling away from them, and I don't know if that's driver error. Maybe their car just wasn't set up as well as the Red Bulls were, or as well as Max was, because the McLarens were not catching up. Like, that is not the form that I see McLaren usually at. Granted, they were both under dirty air the entire time, which is not the entire time, I guess. But when they were, actually, yeah, not the entire time. They had a big enough gap where they still weren't catching Max. So I don't know. I think Max is obviously, he's Max Verstappen. He's going to be, probably the best driver on the grid even with a bad car. The Red Bull, in my opinion, was not as bad as it has been earlier
Agreed.
this season. Is it faster than the McLaren if you put Lando Norris in the Red Bull versus probably not, but I still think it was faster than the McLaren this weekend. I don't know. I just feel like I'm ranting now. I don't know.
No, you're good.
All to
You're
say,
good.
I don't know.
You're good. It's fine.
I think you're
It's
both.
fine. That's
I think
fine.
you're both right and wrong at the same time.
Awesome.
Valid.
You're doing a really good job of playing devil's advocate.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Ferraris. Hamilton finishing P4. Leclerc finishing
Honestly,
P6.
yeah.
Considering the weekend they had, I am thrilled if I'm Ferrari and leaving there with a P4 and P6.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean that P4 wasn't necessarily easy. Even I mean Albon had a great day. So for Ferrari, I don't know. They had really good straight line speed, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Some still don't feel right. I think they got lucky with P4, P6. I still think realistically they're a P7, P8 team right now. So again, I'm happy if I'm them. Leclerc was upset about the virtual safety car and how he always gets screwed. He thinks.
Yep.
That was funny, but partially
He
true.
did too. He got screwed. Yeah.
So-
He was on a mission. He was cutting through the field.
Yeah.
He was racing real hard, and
Yeah.
that safety car set him back so far.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
He also had a comment about being extremely unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said something along the lines of like, I don't know how I can be so unlucky, man, or something like that. I don't remember the exact clip. I don't know if you guys got it or not, but
No, I did not. I did not get it. But speaking of, if we have any Ferrari fans out there, let's get one of you guys on, or girls for that matter. If you are a listener or watcher of Banter with the Boys, let's figure it out. Let's go.
I feel like
if you're local to Minnesota.
when I'm on like the social apps, I feel like there's a ton of Ferrari
100%.
fans, but I don't know if I've
100%.
ever actually met one.
100%. Maybe I just
mean-
gotta like start. I have like.
I guess Colin
and
is
Claire
a
are
Ferrari
both-
fan. That's a good point.
they're both Ferrari.
You guys got buddies that are Ferrari fans?
Yeah.
Do they listen to the show?
Sort
No.
of.
What the heck, dude? All right.
He's not a podcast
First
listener,
off, get him to be a podcast listener, okay? But what's his name?
Colin.
Colin, get your stuff together,
We'll hunt
buddy.
him down.
Put all your stuff together.
We'll make sure he
and put it
listens
in
to
a
this.
bag
Yeah.
so it's all together, and just excuse me, Kev. You might have to bleep that one, and just get it together here. All right. Anyway,
Dang.
wow. Yeah, it's not pregame. Anyway, Ferraris. All right, P4, P6.
Williams?
I mean, we have to talk about Williams now.
We do. Let's talk about Williams.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Okay, first I just want to note, I need your guys' take on this as well. Does Albon keep P4 if Leclerc doesn't push him off like that.
Maybe.
Because he lost 2 positions and only got it back because Leclerc gave it back to him.
Yeah.
And then he was stuck in P5. He was defending him,
I
man.
think, yes, he does keep it. I mean, he had a great day.
He had such a good day.
Amazing.
Team had a great day. I mean,
Team, yeah. Carlos had a good day too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a note here somewhere. It was towards the beginning where I start typing these questions to myself right as like they're doing the what's the beginning lap? Formation lap.
Formation.
Yeah, when they're doing the formation lap, I start asking myself questions to keep an eye on. And one of them was the battle between Williams, Aston, Alpine. Can Ferrari add their name to this list as well? I mean, Williams had a freaking phenomenal day, and Ferrari absolutely added their name to that list. Turns out, but today, anyway, or for that race anyway. But yeah, Albon, and I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the future. I mean, I think they're just trending in the right direction right now.
I hope so. I hope you're wrong in that it's not just an upgrade thing. And I really hope they are able to carry this momentum through the rest of the year.
I mean, we haven't seen bad things from Williams the past few races.
No, we've seen amazing things. Yeah,
they're making traction. You know,
it's also It's also very early in the season. We've seen
100%,
time and again,
100%.
Back half of the season, teams just fall off, right?
Right.
And
So,
Alpine goes up, right? So that's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, fair.
They're there. Yeah, they're finishers. They're not starters. They're finishers.
Yeah, well, I'd wish they'd be whole seasoners. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, not everyone can be McLaren.
Good lord.
Okay.
But Williams, anyway, yeah. You said, somebody here said, I'm assuming this is you, Joe, Albon with a great strategy and only losing fourth, getting pushed off near the end. Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with that. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what they can do next week. Again, I think actually Monaco is going to be a real big test for teams like Williams, Alpine. Actually, those 4 teams I listed: Williams, Aston, Alpine, Ferrari. Where are these 4 teams actually going to be at? I mean, Monaco is truly going to tell us where they're at, where their car is at.
Last race was Miami, right? Before
this one, that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if Monaco lends to the same quirks as Imola and Miami does, and I don't know if it does.
I mean, first off, for Monaco, you got to know the track,
right?
In and out. All these drivers,
it's incredibly.
All these
technical.
drivers know that.
Yeah,
all
it's
these drivers know
technical.
this track.
Yeah.
You know, they probably spend a ridiculous amount of time memorizing every single thing about this track. So I'm not worried about that. Literally, with any of the drivers, rookies, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, this track's going to be all about that quality lap. You know what I mean? So.
It's incredibly
I'm
technical.
excited,
so you have to think like it's
never
not
been
about
this excited
being,
for Monaco.
Really. It's interesting.
It's for the rookies. We'll get into it.
Also
We'll get into
looking
it.
forward.
We'll get into it.
I did just go pull it up for whatever it's worth. Yeah, Williams is now 31 points ahead of Haas. So
Whoa.
they're handily.
Where's Aston right now? Just out of curiosity.
Aston has
after this
14 points to Haas's 20. So
race? Okay. All right.
Is Aston at the bottom right
Interesting.
now?
what's up?
Who's at the very bottom of the list?
Sauber.
Sauber, right.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's
And then Renault
Probably
is Alpine is 1 point ahead,
okay.
Yeah.
7-6.
Bad.
Yeah,
Bad.
tough.
Bad.
Just
bad.
imagine, and you know Nico
7-6. Being kicked Sauber by what? Don't even. get me
Nico
started.
was sniffing the points this
He
weekend.
was.
Nico made an
Actually,
overtake into
Hulkenberg had-
points.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
He didn't
actually
lose
had
it,
a good race.
unfortunately, but like
It was fun to
man,
see.
That's crazy. That man
Yeah, they were
drives the
like,
heck out
because
of
the
that car.
commentators got excited about it. They were like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, the Sauber making a move!"
I got
I
so
got
excited for
excited,
it.
dude.
Because it was like just kind of like we were lulling a bit, and I was like, "Whoa, what the?"
I did the same thing. I'm literally sitting here. I'm like doing my thing, and the commentators were like, "And a Sauber in 10th." I'm like, "Oh, what?" And I look and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I know. I think my wife was actually making food in the kitchen at that time. I was like, "Whoa!" And she's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Sauber's making a move."
Great.
And she's like,
Anyways,
"You want cheese on your sandwich?"
Yes, please.
Yeah, that was an egg, bacon, and cheese sandwich. It was amazing. Anyway, let's see. After Williams, we got
Aston?
Mercedes. It'll be Mercedes. Merc. Because Georgie finished P7. Antonelli, that was another question I had pre-race. It says, can Kimi get into points from P12? He did not.
Tough.
But that was disappointing for him. I mean, car dead. Home race for him. So that's just crappy way to end it there. But George, I mean, tough day after a somewhat decent weekend, honestly, for George.
If I'm George, I'm shaking this off. It's literally his first time this season being out of the top 5.
And again, I think Ferrari's, I'm not saying they got lucky, but I trust Williams finishing 5-8 again before I would trust Ferrari finishing 4-6 again. 100%.
Wow.
100% right now.
That's interesting.
And I put Ferraris in my P2 for constructors, you know what I mean? But at this point, like from what I've seen from Ferrari, it's just I think it could be an anomaly, you know what I mean?
That's interesting. I think we talked about this a little bit last week. Just like consistency wise, like,
listeners,
yeah.
do you think Williams is going to finish? Would you take Williams to finish 5-8 again this season, or Ferrari to finish 4-6 again this season?
I feel like Ferrari comes back. You know,
You would think. You would think
They did just bring an upgrade package
for Monaco.
No, they brought an upgrade package to Imola,
and it showed.
And it showed.
It showed, but it still wasn't better than Williams.
But
At
again,
least it was
like
on par.
But again, FPs weren't that great.
But also,
For
like
Ferrari,
you think about
quali wasn't that great.
they did kind of get hosed in qualifying. Both drivers kind of got hosed in Q2, and so
like hosed in terms of
They got hosed because they got beat by
yeah,
S.
they weren't very good in Q2.
I mean, like they both had moments in their qualifying, like it was just driver mistakes, and like
Okay.
that sort of thing happens.
Fair enough.
So
I think the car really showed out in GP.
I think the
in
car
GP.
really showed out a lot more. So I think we need to give them another race or two and see how this upgrade has settled in, if their move up to 4-6 was an anomaly or not. So I think give it some time to breathe, and we'll see.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I'll give them also a little bit of grace because the tires were weird.
They were
entire
weird this weekend.
So.
Fair enough. Well, we got into that after talking about Mercedes, so whoops. Again, George finishing P7 and Antonelli DNFing.
Sad. Yeah, I mean, I think
sad
this is
face, yep.
technically his home race. I guess Monza probably
it
will
was.
be his like home race, but this is his second home race.
So next actually would be Racing Bulls with Hajar finishing P9.
Heck yeah, dude.
Liam finishing P14. Somebody put in here Hajar carrying the team and also helping out Red Bull.
It's time.
You know what? I already know where this is going. Actually,
gonna sit back.
do.
I have a
You know
feeling I
why?
already know where this is going. It's about
want-
Red Bull having 4 cars on the track.
Wow, you're right. That's exactly where it's going. If
I
I've
almost
said it
texted
once-
you when I was watching the race. I was like, "Oh, you guys have already watched
If
it."
I've
'cause I was
said it
watching
once,
the
I've said
recording.
it 1,000 times. Now, it ended up not really being that big of a deal. He didn't end up actually really fighting Piastri a ton.
But he really could have, though. I mean,
could've.
I
could've.
was actually concerned about it.
And
to
it was
be
the fact
honest.
that the commentators were like, I think I highlighted this in my notes because of how angry it made me. Hajar was
I
lapping.
mean, you're sitting there like this.
So the commentator said Hajar was lapping a second slower than Verstappen, effectively helping Verstappen gain his lead by slowing down the DRS train. And I said, which is stupid if that was how it was planned, because you got four cars working for a team. It's just it's asinine. It's crazy.
I think that they should look at.
I was like, "How much you want to bet it was planned?"
I think they should look at Visa Cash App Racing Bulls assisting Red Bull the same way that like a Mercedes would assist Ferrari. They're two completely different teams. They should not be interloping like that. They should not be assisting each other get wins. It is bad for the integrity of the sport.
But just because you shouldn't doesn't mean you can't.
But I'm saying
Typically,
they should
I'm
make
the
it.
opposite of that, by the way. But
I'm saying they should make it so that they can't. I don't have a problem with Red Bull having 4 cars on the grid, and if you want to move your drivers around, I don't care. But when it comes to interlocking strategies like that and having drivers at a different team, because like you think about it, they've got a team that's in the midfield, and a driver like Oscar who pits. He moves back in the order because he came out of the pit early.
Gets blocked by
and then he gets
Hajar.
blocked by
a V carb or whatever.
by a V carb because that V carb is going to be in the midfield, and then it gives them in the front an unfair advantage that no other team has, and that is just it's dumb. I hate it.
Or is that just taking advantage of the current system? You know, like
It is taking advantage of the
system.
And that's why I'm
you know?
making the call that Formula One is notorious for changing the rules. Like teams look for ways to game the system. That is what Formula One is. It's what it's always been.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Formula One, the FIA, changed those rules to be like, okay, no more of that. Slap on the hand, you're done. And so when are we going to see that change happen?
I miss the days where Lawson was
Not
fighting
anytime soon.
Perez, man. That was awesome, you know? Literally, the two teams, instead of helping each other, are going against each other. That
Yeah,
was sick.
He's just real upset still.
Okay.
You got to give him
It's-
some
it's
slack.
just
He's
that
upset about Nick DeVries.
It's hard. I feel
Nick
like it's.
DeVries.
I agree
Yeah,
with
I
you.
know, Nick
It's going to
DeVries.
be incredibly. Oh my god, I'm gonna puke. It's going to be incredibly hard to govern because it's like, are the teams making these calls, or are the drivers doing it because they want to get promoted into that better car? Like Hadjar wants to look like a team player. He wants to play for Red Bull. And he
So
wants
if
to
you're
drive for
asked
Red
to
Bull,
do
right?
it, you're going to do it.
If you're asked to do it, you're going to do it no matter what. But
Yeah.
even if you aren't asked to do it, you're still like,
Is it asking, though? It's being told to do it.
right. Like, even if you're getting information like, hey, Max is leading, Oscar Oscar has just pit and is now behind you. You're given that information and you're making that conscious effort to like, I'm going to slow Oscar down because I know it's going to help Max's race. If that's on you as a driver, I was like, you know what? Weird, but go for it. If the team's telling you to do it, and that's where it's
Why
like,
is
how
it
can you
weird, though?
govern
Why is it weird, though? If you're the driver, why is it
because
weird?
you should be worrying about your own race
For sure.
and not making yourself look good
For
in front
sure.
of potentials.
For sure. But if that number 2 seat right now isn't necessarily a lock, like, Yuki battled his way, but at that moment in time, as far as you know, Yuki crashed in quali and had to start from the pit. That seat is not locked up right now.
Yeah.
So, like,
No, it's definitely the V Carb team is essentially just
it is a disadvantage to everybody else. I would agree with that.
It's not I mean, Williams is a sister team to Mercedes in that a lot of their development drivers get put in Williams first and then maybe eventually get into Mercedes. It's not guaranteed, obviously, just like it isn't with V Carb up to Red Bull, but V Carb up to Red Bull is definitely more like a more natural, obvious path.
For sure.
Right? It's just that connection there is way too close. They don't feel like their own team. They feel like Red Bull's second team. And that's where the problem lies with me.
Fair enough. Because then you got to get 2 Red Bull shirts. I get it. Anyway, so real quick, we just got to run through these. We'll have our Haas moment and our Alpine moment, of course, as we have in-house fans. But Aston finishing P11, P15 after having a freaking ridiculous quali. Couldn't finish.
I feel like they had a really good start, too.
I think
like
they are
were
ones that
making moves up.
Yeah, they might be a casualty of the safety car situation. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think the safety car definitely didn't help, but then they didn't help themselves a lot afterwards either.
Of course
they were
not.
Back to their old shenanigans.
Because it's Aston this year. And
Strategy
Aston
hurt
this
them.
year is not performing to P5, P6 in constructors like we have so predicted, unless
like
you
you
are
guys so
Mike.
predicted.
Unless you're a Mike. Kick Sauber, Hulkenberg finishing P12, Bortoletto P18. Hulk again. We saw the crazy overtake early, got everybody excited, including the commentators. Bortoletto. Bad car. I mean, honestly, I can't judge anything he's doing at this point until we get into Audi and then even next year. I can't really judge it still even yet. I mean, it's going to be a new, you know what I mean? Everything's new.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
the only thing we have to like compare for Bortoletto is Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg is also struggling. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's driving the crap out of
he's
that
driving.
car.
He's driving it better than Bortoletto,
Yeah.
but this is Bortoletto's 7th race. So
Yeah.
Haas, go for it.
Yeah, that was just disappointing. I don't know what to tell you. Like, Ollie had car problems, and
And I don't like Ocon, but watching the car just die like that, nobody wants that, dude. Like, that's garbage. This is the highest level of sporting for racing anyway, and we're just gonna have engines just conk out or whatever it is. I don't even. Do you know what it was?
it was just an engine. It was just a power failure.
Yeah, lame.
So
Lame.
as disappointing as it is, a part of me that likes chaos does kind of like when stuff like that happens, because it just kind of throws a wrench in the race, and that's kind of what I'm here for. I like seeing the weird action happen.
So he
It
likes
causes
his team
safety-
sucking.
It's disappointing that it's happened to my team.
Joe.
I was gonna say, but
He
not
misses
when
Haas.
it's your team.
It's disappointing when it happens to my team.
He misses
but
Haas being bad.
I am objective enough to say that, like, it's going to happen to my team. If I want it to happen to other teams, I have to be okay with it happening to my team too. It makes the races interesting, so it is what it is.
Let's see. Alpine, Gasly, mid. Got into Q3. Cool. Did nothing with it as soon as he got there. Bad race all the way around. Colapinto, Crasher Pinto, according to Joe. He crashed in quali, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. So I think that is when a camera caught Jack Doohan walking around smirking.
Really?
You seen it, Kev? Kev's seen it. Oh, Kev's seen it. Yes, sir.
I didn't see that.
Jack Doohan was caught smirking after that, and it's like, I don't blame him.
I don't blame him.
You know what I mean?
Well, even the announcer heard it and was like, well, that was like earlier in the day. And it was like, oh no, that was just now.
Yeah.
No, that was just...
So that's I don't know. That was pretty wild to me. We'll see. He's got 5 races, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. P16 for
Flavio had some
Coleman.
good things to say about him, so that's,
Let's see. I put Calm Chaos. Is that what I put, or did you put that?
You put that.
I put that. I don't know if we're gonna stick with that, but I guess that's what it's gonna be called this week.
You rotate names every week.
Calm Chaos. Not Kev. Joe. Yep. Joe. What do you have?
So I think I already mentioned one of them from the FP1 commentator about how, it's absolute nonsense that he's given, that they're swapping it out every single 5 races or however they're going to do it at Alpine.
I mean, it is. It is nonsense. I would
The
say.
other one I have.
It's so weird being a driver in that situation, right? Like,
Yeah.
do I have a seat in a couple races?
Yeah, it's
maybe.
crazy. The other one I have is from Ted Kravitz, who is our pit lane commentator. After seeing a mix of tires come out in Q3, we saw, I think it was Russell on the mediums and maybe a couple other people on mediums and everyone else on hards. Ted Kravitz said, the C6, the strangest of all tires, in a spooky kind of ghost voice. So I just wanted
Strangest of all
the strangest of all tires.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Because it was
amazing. How
like,
did I miss
honestly,
that?
it was, right? Like, Friday it looked amazing, and then Saturday it looked really bad.
Strangest
So
of all time.
yeah, those are the only 2 I have. I don't know if you guys
That's
have anything.
awesome. I had a couple. This one isn't like funny or whatever. It just says, it was Oscar saying, Plan A is very ambitious at the moment on lap 12. I don't know. I just like when people can use ambitious organically. So I think that I think that's why I had it in here.
okay. I'll keep that in mind going forward. I'm gonna start using the word ambitiously.
Ambitious.
You're just gonna be like, yes.
The other one I just had was from Alonso on lap 44. Quote, yeah, it's going to be torture. It's a wreck, period. I am the unluckiest driver in the effing world. That's just Fernando Alonso being Fernando
God
Alonso.
bless him.
God
My favorite
bless him.
rookie.
Yeah, bless his heart. And then the commentators kept cracking me up, dude. The whole race, they kept referring to people wearing McLaren colors as wearing papaya. They're like, look at all these people wearing papaya out here amongst the Ferrari fans, amongst the Tifosi, actually, is what they kept saying.
Do we tell them?
It just cracked me up, calling him the papaya. It just, I don't know, I liked that.
Wait,
Do
really?
we tell him?
Oh yeah, the commentators were referring to the McLaren fans as wearing papaya and being the papaya.
Smelty, that's like a thing.
That's a
Really?
thing, you know
oh,
that.
dude, I've never heard them do it before.
That's like a very big thing with McLaren.
Wow,
Yeah,
I've
they're
never
like,
heard them other than
the drivers are
the
called Papaya
rules.
Army, Papaya Rules.
I've heard the
like,
papaya rules, like that wasn't
because
surprising.
it's not orange, it's papaya. Yeah,
Right. I get that, but like wearing the papaya, I've never heard them
Yeah?
refer to it in that way. Like
Have
that
you
they're
never?
wearing it.
You've never
Blows
heard
my
the
mind.
commentators talk about the McLarens all the time as the papaya cars.
I know that. Yeah.
They talk about
I've
it all
heard
the
about the cars and the team
Okay.
and all that. It's the fans specifically, like wearing papaya. Like,
Yeah.
I'd never heard it put that
I
way
think I
before.
hear
So
the
that,
drivers
that
saying
cracked
that a
me
lot.
up for
like,
sure.
especially like when they're going to like Zandvoort and there's a lot
Yeah.
of like Max fans wearing
Yeah.
orange. They'll constantly say a lot of papaya fans here
Yeah.
today. I love it.
It's definitely not. God, that's hilarious. Anyway, and then a couple just real quick before we move to news. A couple of random notes that I should have thrown in at the beginning for the track that they mentioned just on the thing. Record-breaking weekend attendance.
Yeah.
242,000 people.
Nice.
They said Imola is also one of the longest pit roads on the schedule.
It
I
is.
thought that was interesting. Obviously, the margin of error being very small. And then this was my note. I think it's the third to last turn. Don't have to see what turn number it is because I don't know. I feel like at least in F1 in the video game, I would probably fly through that turn the first time through until I realize what the braking point is. But it just seems like ridiculously heavy braking, and seems like it just blows my mind that nobody locks up there. but these
Is it
guys
like
have
the
also
turn
been
with
racing.
like the chicane and the grass there?
It's
and
right
then
at the
kinda
end of
dip
the
it?
lap, though. It's like 3 to the last turn.
Okay.
Third to the last
Yeah,
turn.
so like at,
There's
at the top of the hill.
It's like
right?
it's a right-hand turn. Boom, boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the curve going back around to the finish line. But
Oh no! So you're talking about the double hairpin then,
Yeah, the double.
or not the double hairpin, but the yeah. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
yeah, it's almost like a double.
I love that turn
Like,
in the game.
It's crazy.
That's like I'm locking up there probably.
because you can because if you do it right, you almost can just like coast through it.
Yeah,
kind
get
of.
off the gas and just fly through it.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
I also had some quick notes that are just kind of fun that I overheard during the race. One thing is that, or during qualifying, is that Liam Lawson has never qualified higher than 12th, at least this year.
Interesting.
So far this year, he has yet to qualify higher than 12th, which is great.
Interesting.
And to make matters even worse, his teammate, Isaac Hajar, has yet to be knocked out in Q1.
Oh, whoa, that's awesome.
Whoa.
Which is crazy.
I didn't
Rookie of
know
the
that.
year, I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
Yeah, he's like super blowing me out of the water. I'm like super shocked by him. So yeah, and it makes only makes Liam worse.
Yet to be knocked out of Q1.
Yet to be knocked out of Q1.
That's
That's
awesome.
actually kind of crazy.
yeah. His qualifying is really good.
Wow.
That's really
okay.
awesome. Do you have anything else?
That was it. That
Okay.
was-
Dang it.
I'll make this really quick because I know we're getting on time.
We're always on time.
Okay, it's said that to make room for Madrid, Imola could be removed starting next year.
Don't like it.
So I just want
I'm here for it.
that's exactly what I want to ask. I want to know what your guys' take is on that. So
I like
I'll start
Imola.
with you, Schmelzy. You like Imola, you don't want to see it to go.
I don't want to see it go. Just add another race.
No. What?
Sure.
Whatever.
24 is already a lot. The drivers
whatever.
are already
25.
so upset with
25 is the new
25 is
24.
a good number.
There's actually been talks
Yeah.
about trying to cut races.
No!
and
Don't do
and
that.
cut down from 24 because 24 is so many.
No!
And like, there's talks about like going on like a schedule, and like 1 year we'll go to Imola and the next we'll go to Madrid as an example, and like alternate. That
Okay,
way,
I don't hate that.
that way we could cut
idea
down on
as
the number of
much.
races. It also helps them cut down on their carbon emissions so that they can hit their goal for 2030.
What's their goal
Yeah.
for 2030?
Zero.
Zero carbon emissions by 2030. I don't know.
Obviously,
if
they're
they're
off-
How are you
Offsetting
gonna
a
be?
lot of that.
How are you gonna be flying all that crap like the cars, or like F1 as a
F1 in
whole?
general.
F1 in
no,
general.
dog, that's not gonna happen.
They've
That's
been
not gonna
saying that for a long time. They're
that's right.
they're
That's not
offsetting it
gonna
a lot with obviously like I can't remember like carbon contracts or whatever the
Yep.
hell that they're called. But I really like Imola. I think that this is just a weird. It's hard to overtake there, but we saw some fairly good overtakes. I think this weekend. It's hard for me to say get rid of the track because I like a lot.
It is
if
an
not all
old
of the
school track,
tracks.
though.
It is.
is.
If you were to put it up against many of the other tracks, I probably would. I probably would
lower
go
on
with
the
the other
list?
track. I think
It's lower on the list.
Yeah, or Monaco. Like obviously it's like really, it's really iconic.
Would you
but,
like to have Monaco stay on the schedule
No,
over
man.
Imola?
No, I want Imola over Monaco because like
Interesting.
Monaco is incredibly like iconic and it's like everyone's like it's a party and everything. But the viewing experience in Monaco is bad. It's just not a fun race to watch.
Right.
It's incredibly boring.
Yeah, like quali's fun because you know how much weight.
Yeah,
it holds.
quality is
To
fun,
me.
but then it's like the weekend's over.
Right. That's what I mean, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Unless you're Sergio Perez and you make it more interesting on lap 1.
True.
Anyway,
or either of the Haas's.
or either the Haas. There's a couple things that could happen. Anyway, Kev, let's probably just head right into news here, right quick.
All right, so in news, very light news week, I'll say. No
problem.
One of them being Formula One and the Disney new collaboration. And there's no real details about this.
I
but
heard something
It
about
has
this.
been mentioned that Disney and F1 will be collaborating starting next year with like the Mickey Mouse and Friends kind of suite entering the high-speed world of F1. Again, not sure what this means or what this is going to look like.
Look like.
Got a little southern there. Got a little
Sorry.
southern there,
That's
son.
weird. I got a little
What
southern.
does this look like? That's
they
hilarious.
debuted with like a Mickey Mouse and Friends F1 car, I think, down in Disney.
You know what's funny too is funny enough. So the cards that I ripped for F1, it's Topps Chrome is the series. I think they're starting to Topps in general is starting to partner with bigger things with F1 and UFC with like instead of pulling a card, now you pull a ticket to the event or whatever, and now you just get to go.
Interesting.
Or something. I think, or some like experience or whatever.
That's really interesting.
So I think that maybe that's part of that too, because I know there's like Disney related things in it as well, but I don't really know. I just listen to other podcasts.
Yeah, like I'm thinking,
but
I don't know
like
what this means, but obviously, when they come down to Miami, I'm sure there'll be a pretty big something happening. Maybe it means F1's going on to Disney Plus at some point too.
I
don't know.
would be cool
This is
with
like
that.
incredibly early. Like this is me speculating, and I know nothing. Okay, the last thing I want to talk on, I don't want to talk very long on it because it's kind of toxic. Yuki and Colapinto had a moment during qualifying, I think, where Colapinto he actually impeded a couple of people, but he impeded Yuki, and Yuki I think flipped him off on track. And Yuki's been receiving like racist comments, hate from Colapinto's fan base. Just want to go out and say that's not cool. That's not why I like the sport. Like, you know,
it's definitely not cool, and unfortunately, Yuki hasn't been the only recipient of some of that. From Colapinto fan base, or do we dare say Argentinian?
I mean, that's the majority of them.
But,
I won't call it the entire.
I know, me either, because there's going to be some good eggs.
Yeah.
I do want to point out too that Colapinto, after all this went down, he actually went out personally and was like, to all of my fans, I appreciate you guys like defending me and trying to stand up for me and everything like that. Please stop.
Yep.
Like, you guys are being incredibly rude, and I do not want this to be associated to me. I am not proud of the way that you are representing me as a racer.
Did not see this.
Yeah, and he came out and made like an official statement telling his fans like, y'all need to calm down because you guys are going way over the line.
Yep.
Interesting.
As did Alpine. Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, I did see the Alpine thing come out.
Thank you for mentioning that, because I'm not trying to say Colapinto's a bad guy. I'm just saying his fan base is toxic.
Yeah, for sure.
Colapinto's probably fine.
Yeah.
This is his first race. He's going to make mistakes, because that wasn't Yuki's fault. He shouldn't be deserving the hate he's getting for being in an incredibly fast car.
I mean,
getting
he flipped
impeded
him the bird.
He flipped him the bird, but I mean,
Racers do it all the time.
It's whatever. They probably forgot about it until you weirdos came into the comments.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I wanted to mention for news. That's all I got. I don't know if you guys.
No, that's cool.
The other thing I forgot to bring up, I was watching somebody else bring up the Disney thing. What I was hearing speculated is very possible that we see, instead of F1 itself be on Disney Plus, Drive to Survive move to Disney Plus instead of Netflix.
That I'm not a fan of. That I'm not a fan of.
Because they're...
I mean, Netflix is the...
Unless Netflix is going to produce it and Disney's going to pay for it. But other than that, I don't want Disney producing...
Not necessarily Netflix specifically. There is like a specific like company or whatever that is actually the people who produce it. They just happen to like work
They would have to
with
buy the
Netflix.
rights to Drive to Survive then, which is a Netflix production.
Yeah.
And also, I wonder if it's going to stop.
I think Disney money.
They could do it. I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's like
real.
I feel like a lot of like hoops would have to be gone through.
I don't know. I don't like
And
it.
if
I don't
anything
like
we're
it
gonna
either.
do
I don't
it,
like
it'd be
it. Yeah.
Disney.
I don't like it.
either.
I don't like change.
It's all speculation.
Nope, leave
so
it
we don't
alone.
know.
Leave it alone. Stop talking. Stop talking.
Sorry.
Not even news. Whatever. I'm just kidding. All right, Kev. Let's head right into our Monaco preview.
And I'm here to go up to speed with you.
Joe's here. Yes.
For the Monaco Grand Prix. I got here. I made it.
Oh, awesome. He's still here. Still here.
We're here to look forward to the Formula One tag. Is it Hewer? Tag Hewer?
I don't know.
Formula One Hauer?
I have no idea.
Howard?
Formula One Tag Hewer,
Shoot.
Hauer,
We don't
Hire,
know.
Grand Prix de Monaco 2025. A fun fact. This is the only race to run a distance of less than 305 kilometers with 78 laps, making just over 260. 305 being the normal requirement for a regular race. Last year, our starting grid was Leclerc to Piastri, Sainz to Norris. We get a uniform start off the line at the Monaco Grand Prix as the top five stay in position through the first corner. Sainz and Piastri get very close. Sainz actually rubbing his tire against the side pod of Piastri's McLaren, picking up a puncture unbeknownst to all of us up until we get to the casino corner. We watch sparks fly from one of Sainz's wheels, and a moment later he locks up and goes into the very short runoff area of turn 4 as the rest of the field runs past him. except for 4 cars. Further down the hill, a huge crash between Perez and a pair of Haas in which Magnussen is between the wall and Perez. His front left meeting Checo's back right. Keeping his line, Magnussen runs out of road and clips the back of Checo's tire, sending him sideways up the hill. The Haas of Magnussen pushing him towards the incoming wall, which they collide into.
Amazing.
Bouncing off and collecting the other Haas of Hulkenberg, all while Joe watches from last place.
This is lap 1, right?
This
turn
is
1,
lap 1.
Right after turn 1.
And wait, there's more. Further up the grid on the same lap, our Alpine boys have a moment before the tunnel in which
right.
Ocon makes the overtake on the inside of the corner, giving his teammate no room to breathe by exit of said corner. Gasly responds naturally by keeping his line, avoiding the wall, resulting in Ocon's rear in the air as the tire
That's
runs
what
over
got
that of
Ocon
Gasly's.
fired. That's what I got Ocon fired.
It definitely didn't look good for Ocon. He goes into the pits and retires shortly after. A red flag is called, and after the cleanup efforts are complete, the order is given. Gracing signs with a second chance as he gets to reclaim his P3 for the race restart. The race restarts on lap 3, and the entire field gets away without issue, starting their long and albeit somewhat mundane journey of 78 laps through the Monaco roads. Stroll and Bottas do pit during the race and get a couple of good overtakes in. However, Stroll ends up with a puncture, his work for naught as he falls to last. With fresh, soft tires, he is able to use them up without a care and starts to provide us with a little more entertainment as he begins cutting through the bottom of the field. We get to see some really close calls between Piastri and Leclerc, Oscar giving him very little breathing room but unable to make a move. Stick ahead, Leclerc finally crosses the finish line of his hometown in first place. Now, I'd like to quickly quote, if I can, Alex Jake's commentary as Charles crossed the line, because it's probably, in my opinion, probably the best part of the race itself. Yeah. So I'm just going to quote what he said. His career finished without the intervention of the late Jules Bianchi, who said to Ferrari, "You've got to take this guy. You've got to make sure he gets to Formula One." And what a gift that was to give. In 2017, Charles Leclerc lost his father, and in his final days, he told his father a white lie, that he'd made it to Formula One, that he'd signed a contract. It wasn't true then, but his driving was made it true now. And look what he has done with the opportunity. The grandstands he saw built as a kid, growing up now, rise for him, and for the first time in 93 years, this fabled race is won by one of their own. Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix to achieve his dream. Our final is Leclerc to Piastri, Sainz to Norris, Russell to Verstappen, Hamilton Tsunoda, finishing out with Albon.
Honestly, Leclerc winning was the best part of the Grand Prix.
It was.
It was amazing.
It's a season highlight.
It was.
Honestly, it was a season highlight for me. It
was so cool.
Dang.
It was amazing.
And I'm not a Ferrari fan.
Me neither.
But like, yeah, that one, that race emotionally got me. To be honest, like that was wild. That was wild. It won't happen this year, but that was wild.
What do you mean?
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But no, incredible. I think we're gonna get a completely different race this year, though.
Yeah.
So for the first time ever, up to speed doesn't help me with my predictions.
I think. Oh, yeah, that's a great point. I think it's still going to be fairly cool. Well, actually, yeah, I guess not.
For the first time ever.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
It was an amazing job as always, but you don't help me. You're not helping my case here.
Yeah, we are referring to Monaco now, two-stop pit rule. I was watching a video earlier today, just someone talking about if they didn't pit for the second time, it's a 30-second penalty.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay, I mean,
it's not insignificant, and that's even if like the race cannot restart after like a crash or something.
Right.
If you cannot restart and you still have not pit a second time, it's 30 seconds.
I just imagine like Max from 2 years ago being like, only 30 seconds.
So to recap last week, Joe and Mike both got 3 points. I grabbed 2. So our standings now, Mike leading by 2.
Heck yeah.
At 20 points on the season. Joe and Smelty tied at 18. So that means Smelty goes last. I just made it up right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
For the first time this year.
Yeah,
so
valid.
Joe has to go before me, so he can't steal my answers, like, obviously, because he's got the same points as me, so it's obviously it's the same thing. Even though you called me a wild card last week, actually.
Okay,
listening
let's
back.
be honest.
Which, to be fair.
all of your predictions are kind of wild card.
To be fair. Anyway,
Oh, man.
Mike, Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah.
on the spot. It's Monaco.
It's Monaco.
It's gotta be.
crazy.
It's gotta be fast cars, man.
It's crazy, man. It is crazy out here. So,
You're gonna wait. You're going, right?
yeah.
He's gonna be on one of the yachts.
Yeah.
At Monaco.
I'll be out there.
Not the fake ones at Miami. He's
Oh
gonna
no,
be on
I'm not
one
going to
of the
be on a
real
yacht.
ones.
I'm going to be swimming in the harbor. It's the only way I can get
Ooh,
anywhere
even
near.
better.
I'm
With
gonna
the
have to
sound
be
of
treading
F1
water.
going by.
And he'll only be in the
Oh.
harbor for about 2 laps before he gets arrested.
Yep, precisely. But I'll go out kicking and screaming. Don't you worry.
Yep.
Anyway, so
Can't wait
my
to see it
predictions
on the camera.
in third.
Ooh,
first.
starting at 3.
Yeah, in third, I'm going to be going with George Russell.
Mistake.
Interesting.
Yep.
Even though George has got me some points this year.
Interesting.
I think George is going to be there. In second, I'm going to be putting Max Verstappen.
Interesting.
And in number 1, wouldn't you guess it? I'm
It's
going to
on
put
be Oscar.
Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, Oscar. Piastri. Wow.
Very interesting.
Wow, I did not see this podium coming from you, to be honest. I mean, Oscar, yeah, that's a given right now. But like, other than that,
Oscar came in the second last year.
to be honest, I did not see this coming.
Like, take away Charles Leclerc, and I think like their qualifying was really close, if I remember correctly. Charles just barely edged out Oscar in qualifying last year. So, yeah, I don't know. It's Oscar's fast on this track, and he's got a fast car right now, and he's looking better than ever. So, also, I found out, for whatever it's worth, I don't know if you want this to affect you guys or not, McLaren holds more wins in Monaco than any other team. Fun fact.
That's a fun
Really?
fact.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Do you want to know another fun fact?
sure.
Lando has podiumed here a lot. So with that in mind,
Yep.
my top 3, I'm going to start with first. It's going to be Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, valid.
Second is going to be Lando Norris.
Sure.
Third one I'm struggling with. I think my gut is Max. However, Max didn't do well here last year. He was strongly in 5th, I believe, like the entire time, obviously. But I don't think I trust the Ferraris right now. And man, George does find his way on that podium more often than not, doesn't he?
Do that, doesn't he?
That being said, I'm going to be a little different from you, and I'm going to put Max as my third.
He hasn't, but I'll tell you, in the last 5 races, George has won podium.
In the last 5 races?
In the last 5 races.
2, 3, 4. No, it's more than that. 1,
Oh, wait, I see another George.
4,
Sorry.
5. He has 2 in
2
the last
in the last
5.
5. 3 in the last 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4 in the last 7. 1, 2.
So you sticking with? Yeah,
That's
oh wait, you didn't go
40%?
Georgie. You didn't go Georgie.
didn't
Oscar,
go George,
Lando,
no.
Max. Huh.
I didn't go George.
That's
Didn't go
crazy.
George.
My podium is almost the same. Oscar is 1. Lando is 2. Which is the first time I think I've taken Oscar Lando back to back. By the way,
Can I guess who your third is?
Go for it.
Okay, look at me for a second.
Go for it.
Look at me for a second. Is it Charles?
It is Charles
Charles
Leclerc. It's
Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc. It's Charles Leclerc. Dang, Joe.
It's between Charles and George.
You're starting to get to know me
'Cause There's
after
no
2
way you're going
years.
to pick Max.
Okay, so you're locked in, right?
Yeah, I'm locked.
Okay,
Oscar,
cool.
Lando,
So
Charles.
I'm gonna argue my points here because y'all gave me weird looks. So Oscar's I think is gonna win because he's super fast, right?
Yeah, well, we both have
No,
Oscar
we
winning.
all agreed Oscar was gonna win, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's
Correct.
cool.
Correct.
Max is just Max Verstappen. We saw how fast that car was last time. We know how good he is at hooking up a one lap pace.
Except he wasn't here last year, so that's fine. But he wasn't good at hooking up a 1-pace lap last
Yeah.
year.
He
Okay,
did win
fair-
last week, though.
Like, sure, yeah. So he messed up one time in Monaco. As
Well, he was consistently not in the top running last year, but that's fine. It's
What's your
fine.
other
Yeah.
arguments?
The argument is that he is Max Verstappen,
he is
and
Max
that's all we need to
Verstappen.
hear. Yeah.
And
That's the
then
only argument.
That's literally the only thing I need.
And
is
then
fair,
my second argument for it is that Red Bull is notoriously really good at their strategy. They are typically very sound on strategy, and strategy is going to be what wins races. Here.
Checo didn't finish the race last year.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that must have been the strategy, huh? Wow.
His strategy.
The strategy was not to be near the Haas at turn 1, and he failed.
No, the strategy was to overtake the Haas immediately, and
he
He
didn't
didn't do
where
it.
he
He didn't
is.
get it done. He didn't get it done.
But yeah, so Red Bull has good strategy, and I think in a race that's going to revolve around strategy, that's going to benefit them.
Where's Yuki
And
start? this race. Yeah,
Actually,
because you
know
don't
what,
care
Yuki-
because it's not Red Bull. It's only
Yuki-
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this energy?
Yeah, really.
Are
Holy
you
cow.
okay?
No more pre-gaming for you.
Let's just flip the whole table. You guys ready?
And I think George is going to be there because Mercedes also has really good strategy, and George is very consistent driving, and so I think
Their
we're gonna
strategy's
see-
been mid this year.
The strategy's been pretty solid.
To me.
The strategy's been pretty solid. I don't know what you're talking about.
They've had their moments.
40%.
I don't know.
on the podium in the
I
last
like
5
George.
races.
And I like George. I'm half a Mercedes fan. So I'd love to see Mercedes on the podium in Monaco. And I'm not saying that my podium is correct. I
Also-
think Joe's got the safest podium here.
Also,
Oscar
Pirelli-
Lando Max. That sounds good.
Russell did qualify 5th last year, ahead of Verstappen. And if the car is better this year, I think George is actually not a horrible check. Which is funny that you put Charles on your podium. To be honest,
I only did it because of the lore.
yeah, that's fair.
That's the
like
only
that.
reason
And,
why
also
I did
like
it.
that. I appreciate that.
Also, Charles is like one of the best qualifiers in Monaco. Like he is notoriously good.
yeah.
He is notoriously in the top 3, and then just not. And then he's DNSing or DNFing.
Right.
or-
tell you what,
Right. Until last year. Right. No,
Until last year.
for real, though.
Him qualifying first this weekend would be crazy.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I think.
I'm saying it would be
I don't even think
crazy.
he. I don't even think he qualifies P in the top 3. Like I
think
think
he
he has
makes
to. I think he has to really work to try to get that P3.
See-
And who knows?
See, this is
It's
why
gonna
I
be.
don't
It's
think.
gonna be those 2 pits though, and that's where I don't trust Ferrari's, like. Engineers, they call them, right? For the tire changers, they still call
Sure,
them all
yeah.
that. They're all. Everybody's an engineer.
Mechanics.
They just hand engineer degrees out. No, I'm just kidding. Don't get me
mechanics.
started. I'm just kidding.
Don't get me started.
I see. You.
just kidding.
You ready for like my hot take? Maybe
But
I'll
like,
grab.
real quick, McLaren's has, other than front right tire changer last week, has had pretty good pit stops all year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. With a mandatory 2 pit stop, I mean, it's going to be the battle between Red Bull and McLaren most likely. But
I think the fact that you're putting Ferrari up in the top 3 on a 2-stop again,
and I talked crap about them this show.
Yeah, a
From
required
last race.
2-stop.
I said they won't finish 4-7 again.
A required 2-stop, and you're expecting that Ferrari's strategy is going to put Charles Leclerc on the podium.
Wrong. I'm not expecting. I'm hoping.
Okay. No, you know what?
made it clear.
You know what? That's a valid argument.
Made it clear it was for the dream.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
for
you
the
know what?
dream. I only chose Charles for the lore. That is
Sorry.
the only reason.
fault.
Otherwise,
And you know
history tells you I would probably take George.
Yeah, good point.
But I don't know. Some vibe. I don't know. It's Monaco. It's fun.
It's fun.
You know.
We have fun
Well,
here.
it's fun for the drivers, maybe. Not even. I don't know. Whatever.
I was about to
What am
say, I
can't
think
even-
you're sleeping on Lando, but you had Lando in your podium the last 2 races, so you're not really sleeping on Lando.
No, yeah. I think. And Lando could do really well here.
He got 4th last year.
Yeah.
Lando's
But, like,
mid.
I think I don't know. I just don't think we're gonna see it. So
Fair enough.
I think the McLarens are taking this weekend.
I could see that. Yeah, I'm
they-
taking a
they
little
could
bit
go
of a
1-2.
gamble. I've got my guts telling me where to go. My gut told me to pick Max Verstappen to win last weekend's race, and I didn't do it. So I'm going to listen to my gut this weekend.
Really?
If you can go
Interesting,
back and
interesting.
listen to what I said last week, where I said that I thought Max Verstappen was going to finish on pole and then lose it. And then I was wrong because he didn't start on pole, but instead
But he
took
won it.
first. So I should have just listened to my gut and just said, you know what, Max Verstappen is going to start on pole and it's going to win.
Well, hey,
and
just let me know when your gut's telling you that Gasly's getting a podium this year.
I got bad news for you.
It's bubble guts.
He's
right
taking
now.
Tums.
It's going to be
I'm
bubble
taking
guts.
Tums for
Taking
LP.
Tums for this weekend. He's stopping those feelings immediately.
Oh my god! All right, fellas. Well, that's gonna wrap the show. Obviously,
boy.
I mean, if you're still here, thanks.
It's been great.
That was heartfelt.
It was great.
Joe,
Schmaltzy.
thanks for being here, Doc.
Thanks for having
we
me.
also realized that we all are wearing something of the jobs that we make money at, which
Yep.
is not Banter with the
We're
Boys, but,
NPCs.
Correct.
we're just NPCs. I love
This was not
that.
planned.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're gonna call the hosts of our shows now NPCs.
You can't see the logo on Mike, so Mike works for Haas canonically now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Let's just cover this up.
Yep. Haas.
There's a
Mike,
Haas factory.
thanks for being here. You're able to get out of work again, or
Yep.
Just, he's always like, oh man, busy day. Not always, but the last 2 weeks, like, oh, it could be a busy day. And then he just pounds it out and gets here anyway because he loves F1.
I do. That is actually very accurate. I work so hard to try and get out on Tuesdays. You have no clue.
So here he is.
I love being here, so that's great.
We love having you.
We've loved
Yeah.
having you as the addition. Started as a guest last year. Now, I mean, pretty
They
much
can't get
all
rid
Well,
of
you're
me.
not even a guest
pretty
anymore.
much
Yeah,
all
They can't get rid of me.
a permanent seat.
a standing invitation.
Yeah,
for sure.
standing. Well, yeah, for now, standing invitation
Unless
for now.
Haas
We made
starts
it,
kind
Mom.
of coming back, and then I just
Yeah.
can't look at you anymore.
Dang. Ouch. With that, obviously, Kev behind the scenes, getting
you,
everything
Kev.
done for you. He's going to keep working after the record button stops. And then, I guess I'm Smelty. And this has been
Hi, Smelty.
Fast Laps. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe wherever you listen to the banner, whether that's, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Oh, YouTube. Don't forget about that one. And I think we're on one more. I can't remember
iHeartRadio.
what it is. Did I say iHeartRadio?
Oh,
Well, iHeartRadio twice then.
Double it down.
They got to pay us for that. Anyway,
YouTube and Spotify.
with that, let's just get out of here. We'll see you next week. Don't even worry about it.
Adios.
Don't even
See
worry
ya.
about it.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the Boys.